Kenny is completely uncensored and unmuffled, as in we can see his face even.
Do you want it because you actually did?
Yeah, actually, you know, it's I don't know how it happened, but I'm the one that does Kenny's voice when it's unmuffled.
That's right.
And we've already done it, and we did it for thank you. We did it
Jeffersons, right? The Jeffersons.
We did it for the Jeffersons.
Oh, the movie.
Now, in the movie, it was supposed to be Mike Judge, which I think we can honestly say now that it was Trey who redid the read.
Yeah.
I didn't do it in the movie, but I did it in the Jeffersons, and I did it in Lifecapades when he gets soaped, and I say, oh no, not the soap, not the soap.
Yeah.
And so I did it. So I've only done it a few times, but yeah, So we have kind of done Kenny unmuffled, but it's usually me that gets pulled into the sound booth at the last minute to do it. So, who is Mysterion? Well, that was still Matt, because he still talked like, you know, Christopher Nolan wanted Batman to talk. So
that's right.
He talks like this instead of this. Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes is the one with the Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's another one of my favorites too, yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about that?
What would you like to know?
Why it's one of your favorite episodes?
I don't know.
Because it's fun?
It's great.
I can honestly say that Trey, you know, he read those books probably back in junior high and loved. He's a big J.R. Tolkien fan, and that's probably where it stemmed from once it started becoming popular and Peter Jackson started making the movies.
Yeah.
But he did such a great twist on it with the porno, and it's
Little Butters.
It's one of my most favorites. Yeah. Again, another Butters episode.
That's a great, and I think you know what, that was a lot of like a standout for Jimmy too, like with You Shall Not Pass.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It was a good Jimmy moment.
Ever since last year, I was introduced to South Park, and ever since then, my favorite character was Kenny, but this one question just always pops into my mind. How does Kenny, when he dies, how does he come back to life?
Ooh. Someone else want to cover this?
Wow.
I mean, we just did a whole couple of episodes about it. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to go down there, and he can explain it to you.
Yeah, okay. Did you see the Mysterion episode?
No.
The Coon and Friends trilogy?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so get this. Like last
Blame him.
season, there was this time where these guys got together and they got really drunk, if you will, and Kenny's parents were there. And so they were part of some demonic ritual, something about reading books.
That's pretty good.
Something about R.L. Stein? No? Yes?
No.
All right. Either way, no, H.P. Lovecraft. That's who it was. Got it. And he totally, their parents participated in it. So now whenever Kenny dies, Kenny's reborn through the womb. And then he's put into bed with his little coat, which I'm surprised they can afford so many. And, rinse and repeat.
Very good.
Nice.
That was
done.
very well said. Now,
That was good.
when we were doing those two shows, there's 3 shows.
Yeah, 3.
Wow, 3 shows. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. But we actually had to go back into a past episode where Kenny was reborn, where he was trying to give his mom,
an abortion.
We had to go back into that episode and see like how we kind of covered that so that it would make sense for the Mysterion 3 shows. So it's kind of interesting if you go back and look at that show, and then you can see like why we had to make the decision that we did so that it would all work out. But anyway.
Okay, so I'm a huge South Park fan. I watched the whole series in about the time span of 2 months.
Wow. Good for you.
He who has
Can
your
we give her a
life.
hand? Can we give her a hand
He who
for
has
that?
your life.
2 straight months in South Park?
You playing Warcraft?
Okay, so I wanted to know how you came up with the idea for the show.
Oh. You know what? That's
way back to college.
Yeah, that's...
No, it was Matt and Trey who came up with the original
That's
idea.
right. We don't want to take credit for that.
And really
at all.
going back to college, I studied animation, and I wanted to become like an animator, and Trey actually gave me the advice of just getting into the film school.
Mm-hmm.
Forget taking drawing lessons, just get into the film school and start making animated movies. And so at the time, I was a big fan of Disney, and I'd seen The Little Mermaid. I'll admit it. Saw The Little Mermaid, and I wanted to work for Disney because coming from Colorado, really Disney is they're making all the movies, and if you want to get into animation, you're doing Disney.
Yep.
But anyway, Trey had the idea of doing a little short with these kids. And he kind of explained it all to me right there in the front of the film desk there in college. And he said, yeah, they're going to put this hat on Frosty, and then he's going to come to life, and he's going to kill all these kids. And I was like, Okay, I'm a big fan of Little Mermaid, and killing kids I don't think it's going to work. So anyway, I continued doing animation, and, you know, Crispy and I, we kind of worked on animations throughout college, and, you know, Trey really liked the animations that we did, and so we were kind of the first person hired on because he knew our interest in animation. And so he wanted to do, him and Matt wanted to do more live action because, you know, they had Cannibal and Orgasmo.
And most of the films that they did in college, Trey was the only one who did animated stuff really in college. He did American History.
Yeah, Matt really didn't do any animated stuff in college at all.
Yeah, Matt did a lot of live action.
Yeah. So Trey actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Trey won a Student Academy Award, and the name of the short is American History, and it's on YouTube. But you can see it's really great. And the Jun Nishimura, who I was talking about earlier, he actually does the voice of the narrator who does the history of America. And then Trey animated it. It's really funny.
The best part is Junichi, who is our friend who was in college, and he had come over from Japan, and he had maybe been in the United States for like 6 months. So it's basically a Japanese guy who had lived in Japan, lived in America for 6 months, telling what American history actually is. And it's amazing.
Really funny.
It's genius.
Is it on the website?
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
We don't have it up on the website.
But it is on YouTube. You guys should all check it out.
Yeah, you should check it out. But I also remember when we were in college, we were working on an animated short, and you brought the Frosty versus Jesus back one night, and we were watching it, and probably watched it about 10 times in a row, because it was so fun. And how many of you have actually seen the Frosty versus, not Spirit of Christmas, but Frosty versus Jesus? Yeah.
Frosty versus Jesus. Yeah, okay, cool.
It's pretty cool. And you can even see, like, I think in that one, the fat kid dies, and his name is Kenny. Yeah, which is, but you can see, like, the characters already started to have names, and that was, like, 4 years.
It definitely has the humor of the show. It definitely has the characters, the personalities, even in that small of a short. You can see those characters. Okay.
Going back to an older episode where you had NAMBLA. Now, I was actually really shocked.
That's another one of my favorite episodes.
Wow. I was rather shocked and a little appalled to find out that it was a real organization. I was like, oh my god.
I know, right?
The National Marlon Brando lookalike. Yeah.
That's what I was actually asking about. Was the Marlon Brando lookalike a real organization too, or did you just put that in there to lighten the episode a bit?
You know what?
I want to say it's a joke, but I don't. There probably is now.
I don't think there was at the time. I think it was just Trey just toying with,
with the initials and definitely making a joke out of it.
I just want to know, will there be an episode when Chef comes back? Because when he turns into Darth Vader?
Sadly, I would just like to say, you know, when Isaac left the show, it was a sad time for all of us. And, you know, after he passed away, I think it was even worse. And I think a lot of it is that, you know, Matt and Trey, after Isaac left, you know, were very open about it, that said that he had an open invitation to come back to the show anytime he wanted to. But unfortunately, he passed away, and I just think on the show, I know we all miss him. He was an amazing character. He was great.
It was really cool to have him as a part of the show. It was great. He had a great sense of humor, and he really loved the character. In fact, I think even when he went on tour, he would sing.
He would dress up. He would put on the hat.
Balls and people loved it. But unfortunately, he passed away, and I don't think it'd be ever proper to bring back Darth Chef.
Yeah. At what point in the development of South Park, like when you guys were starting to think it up, did you just decide that you were always going to kill Kenny? Just bring it back, always.
Wow.
Well, Matt and Trey in interviews, they say that, you know what, when South Park got picked up, they thought they were going to do 9 episodes, and that was going to be the end.
That was 6 months I was talking about before.
they were just like, it's not a big deal, we're just going to have Kenny die every episode, and we're going to do 9 episodes, and we'll move on to something new.
Yeah.
And so, once after it became like, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons in, honestly, like Crispy and I, we would be the animators, we'd be animating, and then we'd get kind of close to about 80% done with the show, and then Matt and Trey would figure out where Kenny was going to get killed.
He would figure out where and how.
It was one of the last things that they would add to the show, and then we'd have to go back and delete Kenny from like the end, and we'd have to reconfigure and that was a time where we were lucky to get any shot done and get it to the Avid to be edited. So it became kind of a problem, and that's why now they only kill Kenny like when it's funny.
Yeah, on special occasions.
On special occasions. Yeah. They do it for the fans a lot of times. Yeah. Like for the Christmas episodes or whatever.
Absolutely.
Do you guys plan on revisiting the Team America and maybe taking the Book of Mormon and do it in that medium?
Do it in the puppets? That would be actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you seen Book of Mormon yet?
No.
No.
Here.
Okay,
Is it going to come to the West Coast?
It is going to travel tour. Yeah, I heard it's going to go to Los Angeles. 2013.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll be what? Dead? Oh yeah. Okay.
That's true. Sorry. Sorry for all of you who will be dead, but the rest of you, 2013.
They are talking about traveling with the Mormon. They probably will never. They always talk about not wanting to revisit the puppets with Team America because it took so much, and those puppets could do so little that they probably won't ever do a puppet.
I remember them saying at one point it was like, we're going to work with puppets, it's going to be sweet, and at the end they were cursing.
Yeah, it's funny because they didn't want to work with actors, so they worked with puppets.
And now they don't want to work with puppets.
Where'd you get the idea for Towelie?
Towelie came from...
This is actually great.
They did a writer's retreat, which I know this is going to sound too fancy and too nice, but they were in Hawaii, and they were doing a writer's retreat. And they were all going to go on the boat, and they were all like hurting for ideas, and they were like, they got on the boat, and someone said, hey, don't forget to bring a towel. And they were like, that's it, we'll do Towelie. And the reason why they did Towelie is because of Jimmy.
Yeah, it was...
Because Comedy Central said, you can't do Timmy. It was like, Timmy, you can't do Timmy, and we're not going to do Timmy, and you got to keep Timmy really short, just keep him, where he pulls out Kenny's tooth, and that's it for Timmy. But Trey wanted to do a whole other show with Timmy, and the fans loved Timmy, and so after Timmy became huge, they were like, you got to come up with a new character. You've got to come up with a new character.
And part of the funny thing is it was like probably... I think they've admitted that like the worst character.
I think they even say it in the episode.
You're the
Towelie,
worst.
You've been the worst character.
Yeah.
Ever. But anyway, that's where Towelie came from. Yeah, from don't forget to bring a towel. And don't forget to bring a towel.
I was wondering, where did you guys get the idea to change Mr. Garrison's sexuality and to switch him from male to female and then back to male?
That's kind of because we've been on the air for 15 years. And, you just have to have evolution, and...
you have to grow your characters and then
I think
have them come back to the exact same thing full circle.
I think a better question is, where's Mr. Garrison going to go from here?
Yeah. Has he been everything?
He's done full circle twice.
Yeah.
This isn't a question, but I'm going to be leaving already, but I want to say I'm a huge fan ever since I was little. My dad here behind me would always catch me in the room telling me not to watch it.
How old are you? Just curious. How old are you?
Around high school.
Okay, high school. So you're about 17. So you're about 2 years old when we started doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
So I've been a huge fan, and hopefully you guys keep making more episodes.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you.
Yeah, 2 more years at least.
Okay, so I love Token. I really do. I grew up in Iowa, like only black person for the whole state.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Are we gonna see more Token? Is there gonna be like a Token episode?
We haven't done a Token episode in a while, and usually it comes in waves when we concentrate on a character.
Yeah. The cool thing is the guy who does the voice for Token is also on the show.
He's the producer on our show. He's in charge of the whole art department. He's in charge of the look of the show, and he does the voice of Token.
I still remember from the pilot, like walking into the studio with all the cutouts and seeing Token for the first time and seeing the T on his chest.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where, and it was like a little gap, a little pause, and it was like, Token, that's good.
Okay, I just wanted to know where Mr. Hankey came from, his origin, and we always actually play the Christmas album in my house.
That's another favorite episode I have, is the Mr. Hankey episode.
I like your family that they play the South Park Christmas album at. Mr. Hankey is actually something that Trey grew up with.
Yeah, Trey really has to answer that question because it does come from Trey and his dad. He said something about his dad used to teach him to potty train him. He's like,
and flush the toilet.
You have to flush Mr. Hankey down the toilet, or he's
going to come get you.
And so that's kind of what Mr. Hankey.
Thanks for that, Randy.
Yeah, that's more of a Trey question. Yeah, we really can't answer.
Hi. Sorry. I need to shout out to another character that needs more screen time, Craig Mother Tucker. Are we going to bring him back?
I know, right?
Craig is great.
The best looking student in his class.
That was Rick.
No, that's Clyde.
Clyde is.
Craig, yes, Craig.
You know what? I think we do that all the time on the show, too.
Yeah.
Is that Craig and Clyde, we even have trouble, sometimes we do with the voices, because they're so similar.
Yeah, when you guys watch the pilot, there's a couple shots there where Stan is supposed to be talking, and they actually animated Kyle.
Yeah.
You saw it, right? When they talk to the cow, or talking to the aliens, yeah.
And that happens, it happens because Matt and Trey, probably most of you know this, but they do every single voice on the series. So a lot of times we'll even sit there, like they'll do a dialogue change.
Yeah.
And you guys have that problem where it's like, is that Stan or is it
even in the
Kyle?
storyboard sometimes I have to be, this is Matt's character's got the glasses or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, you didn't like the guinea pig episode?
I loved it.
Oh, okay, you like the guinea pig episode. Okay, alright.
Answer guinea pig.
Was that already 3 years ago? Wow. Alright, I'll tell those guys.
Where did you get the idea
Need more
for?
Craig.
Where did you get the idea for ManBearPig?
I don't even know where ManBearPig came from, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't, you know, that's a Matt and Trey question in the writers. I don't know where that came from, where it stirred from. So,
as a current student at CU Boulder, I was really psyched to see.
Go Buffs.
Go Buffs. I was really psyched to see CU in the recent Crack Baby episode. And I was just curious, like, did you have any dialogue with Chancellor DeStefano or any of like the higher ups at CU before you made that?
No. To be honest, you know what? That happens above where we are. We just get to do the fun stuff. We don't have to be involved in all that.
Yeah, the only reason why we picked the CU is because, well, we went to CU, but because the show takes place at CU and they're the closest.
That was the closest college
that Cartman would go to say, you know, how do you get away with what you do? Yeah, okay. That's a safe way to answer that. Hi.
What's the inspiration for Towelie?
Towelie?
We just went over
We already said that.
Yeah, it's already been covered.
Covered. Dave, I know you. Yeah, hey, Dave.
Hey,
actually, he's a real character from Orgasmo right here. Okay. Did you just come here? Okay, you missed it, yeah.
Hey guys,
Okay.
long time fan.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, I was wondering if you guys are ever going to do a sequel to your first motion picture for South Park. If you guys are ever going to do a sequel for it.
Oh, to Bigger Longer? You know, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about doing another movie. Like, there's no movie in the works right now, but hopefully in the future
you
we'll
never know
do
when
one.
an idea is going to pop up, though. I think that's the key, is that you just, with the way Matt and Trey work and everything else works, you just never know what's going to strike their fancy.
Yeah.
With Terrance and Phillip, like, how'd they come up with their, like, movie and how famous they are?
Terrance and Phillip?
Yeah.
Are you asking where the idea for Terrance and Phillip came from?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I don't...
It was kind of a riff on, like, Beavis and Butthead. And some of that stuff. Was it? Because we needed that was part of the cartoon thing with the swearing.
Yeah, it was like 15 years ago, and it was kind of like the way that they were trying to censor South Park because we were just brand new, we were on cable, and I guess they kind of created the characters for Terrance and Phillip because they were so crude, and Kyle's mom was trying to censor them back in an earlier episode. But that was way back in season 1, and I don't really remember.
That was
it was like 15 years ago. Sorry.
What are some of the ideas that Comedy Central wouldn't let you show?
Actually, you know what? This is kind of cool because Comedy Central's been really good to South Park. There's a lot of things that South Park has tried to do, and they really have. I think they've really worked with Matt and Trey to figure out what's feasible, what we can do, and what we can't do. And so in that respect, I mean, they haven't. I don't know if a lot of you, hopefully, you've all been watching this season. You noticed that we started saying shit on air. Yeah. I mean, no other show does that. Comedy Central is like, yep, okay, yeah, you can do that.
I mean, as you watch the evolution of South Park, and early on it was like we couldn't show a lot of blood, and you know, all of a sudden we used to get it really, really gory.
Super, yeah.
But along the way, you know, there's been shows like Jackass and all these other shows that have kind of like helped us get away with a little bit more because.
And I think we've helped. You know, South Park has helped do that.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know what the conversations are with Trey and not the legal department, but Trey and standards and practices. But, you know, there's a little play back and forth between, well, can we do this? Let's cut this down a little bit. Yeah. We'll cut this back a little bit if we can get away with this or if we can show this. So there was a lot of toying going on. But in the recent episodes, though, I think we've come a long way. And even with other shows, you know, that are on just like national television, they're getting away with more, which allows us to get away with a little bit more.
And I think the big thing is too, like with South Park, like we said, "God damn it," in the first episode, and that really hadn't been done before, and so that was breaking a taboo 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the evolution of the content.
Hi, how did they come up with the Goth kids? Because for that genre, it is so right on.
Well, you know, I wish I knew that because they're some of my favorites.
Yeah, I can honestly say that Trey is a big fan of Robert Smith. Obviously, we did a Robert Smith episode. Right. Hey, can you FAGS's stop in with the motorcycles over there, please? We're trying to have a little Q&A. Thank you. Yeah, he's a big fan of The Cure. Wow, thanks. Works.
Totally works.
But he's a big fan of Robert Smith, and There was a couple Halloween parties where he'd dress up as Goth, and I think it's just some kind of like underlying thing that, you know, Trey...
It's kind of like the Mormon. Like, he's just kind of fascinated by it, and so it creeps into the world.
Yeah, knowing Trey, you know, as long as we have, it's a fascination. Yeah.
Hi, so obviously all names and likenesses are coincidental, but have any celebrities gotten really pissed at you guys for making fun of them on the show?
Tina Yothers actually ran into Matt probably about 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Tina Yothers," and he was like, "Oh." But other than that,
you know, we don't usually
and
hear
the whole
about
controversy with Tom Cruise and Trapped in the Closet, which is my wife's favorite episode. I don't really...
You know what? There have been a lot of celebrities that have been in the show, and there have been a lot of things like pop culture wise that we've actually put into the show, and we find out later that they're psyched about it because, you know, there's a lot of times where somebody will get put into the show or something will get put into the show, and it, you know, people start, hate to say it, but people start paying attention to it again, and so it gets that extra bump from South Park, and we've actually had a lot of people come back and said, "Oh, that's cool. Thanks for doing that."
I kind of want to say, and I mean, I kind of forget over the 15 years, but because we ripped on David Caruso, I think there was a time where he was like, "I want to do a voice on the show because you guys totally ripped on me, and that would be totally cool." So I don't. Yeah, it's you know, everyone's on their own, and sometimes it happens.
Hey. Is there a demographic that you haven't made fun of that you would like to?
Let's see, made fun of young people, old people.
Almost every religion. Yeah. I think we've covered... I'm sure there's something out there that Trey can come up with. I don't doubt Trey's
We just had the Chinese and the Japanese yell at each other. I'm sure there's something out there that we'll discover.
That's what the next 2.5 seasons will be about.
Perhaps.
How did the ideas for the Canadians happen?
Oh, you mean the floppy head? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, are you talking about the animation style or just because we're ripping on Canadians? Because we're ripping on Canadians? You know, that's a question that came out probably like 10, maybe 13 years ago, the floppy head. Well, I think when South Park started, you know, we had this crude animation because everything was done with construction paper. We were trying to match the look of, you know, having construction paper underneath a camera stand and just kind of mushing it and pushing it around. And I think when they came up with the original Terrance and Phillip episode, they wanted to have a worse looking style of animation.
Yeah, and that's what they all have, those totally square and their heads just flop all around. But I mean,
they didn't even have bendable arms. They just kind of.
You know, I was talking with someone here yesterday, and it was a fan who came up to me, and they said that they had watched the show for a long time, and it wasn't until the movie, and I love this. They said it wasn't until the movie that they realized that Ike was probably Canadian. And I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Hi, I'm over here. I really love the stuff you guys do, and one of the things that really struck me funny was the episode that had the Asian singer Wing on it.
I know, right?
So I looked her up, and she actually does have an album, and people are buying it.
Oh, yes, she does.
How did you guys find that?
I think that's one of those things that comes out of the writer's room. I mean, when they're actually trying to come up with ideas for stuff, like...
Yeah, you know, late at night when we're producing South Park and all the animators are working on their shots and stuff, you know, Trey doesn't have any volume control. He keeps his volume like pumped up because he likes to hear things loud. But he's in his office and he's just on YouTube like all the time. And he's going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. And I don't know if somebody told him about Wing, like one of the writers may have told him, but he just stumbled upon Wing. And another fascination he has is with the Asian culture. And I think he was like, this would be a great idea for an episode.